there are things that you can essentially position yourself in right now. And one of those things is the DeFi market. So as of yesterday, actually, as you guys know, I'm involved with a particular project called NRGY, and this DeFi market, we put out a press release yesterday in the Los Angeles Tribune, which over the next 24 hours has the potential of being seen by 500,000 people. For us, that's a huge deal, because now we have an ability to see and capture a larger audience. And one of the things you always have to look at when you're looking at a cryptocurrency itself is, number one, what is the use case? And number two is, what is the supply? So if you look at the supply alone of what NRGY offers, it's just over 4.2.5 million. So 4.3 million at full scale at max supply, which is a very low supply in terms of the actual amount of coins that can possibly be minted over time. If you compare that to the supply of Bitcoin, it's a fourth of the actual supply. Now, the difference is that Bitcoin is a widely adopted cryptocurrency that's being used on a daily basis by essentially almost millions of people around the world, but NRGY is not well known. And although it has been in existence for 6 months, the project is still going through its infrastructure phase right now. So we're still building out our full infrastructure to really get us well known, but we're providing different kinds of solutions in the DeFi space that essentially really have never been seen before. And so when we released this article yesterday, it really described essentially why NRGY is so undervalued. And so if you go to CoinGecko right now, you can actually see the price of NRGY, and you will see that NRGY is around anywhere between $88 and $90. The last time NRGY was $88 to $90 was about 5 months ago. And the infrastructure that we had built out at that point in time was nothing in comparison to what it is now. That was basically just our initial real phase 1, and now we're in phase 2, where we have been out for about 30 weeks now of the 100 weeks that can actually be done with our market maker staking pool. And essentially you can take your NRGY and you can basically put that into staking, and NRGY is what's called an elastic supply. If you're not familiar with what an elastic supply is a supply that can change. And the way it changes is if there's a high amount of liquidity coming into the platform, then the amount of coins that will be minted per week will be higher. Consequently, if the amount of liquidity that's coming in is lower, then the amount of coins that will be minted will be lower. So higher liquidity will allow for a higher compounding percentage per week, and lower liquidity will allow for a lower compounding percentage per week, and it is never a fixed percentage. Anything in cryptocurrency that offers you a fixed percentage is always not a good idea, because there's always a variable that has to be inclusive within that. And so that's what we offer, is we essentially offer not a fixed rate, but a rate up to 4% compounding per week. And you can essentially stake that coin into our ecosystem and be able to benefit from the gains that you will receive, not only from just having your coins sit inside of, really that decentralized market maker pool, but at the same time, it's also 100% liquid to you at all times. So imagine that you could basically benefit from a project that you're getting into early, that not only has the appreciation and possible potential of growth over the next 2 years of reaching in excess of $5,000 a coin, but also as that coin continues to compound for yourself, you also get the benefit of that too, and it's automatic. So imagine that. Now you think about how long did it take Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else under the sun to basically get to the point of where the whole world caught notice, where institutions caught notice. It took a while, right? Bitcoin came out in 2009. It really didn't see the full institutional expansion until about 2016, maybe 2017, and then 2018, 19, it really started to blossom, and 2020 was a monster year, right? So when you think about that, that's a tremendous amount of years. It's not like 2 years, 3 years. It's more than that. And essentially, that's what this is providing with the same type of solution. And so when you understand that, and you understand that concept, you understand that this is a baby project. When I say ground floor isn't even the correct word. Really, this is below ground floor. Because the actual coin supply of essentially what this has is very, very low in capacity to anything else, really, for the most part. And so the other use case of NRGY is also to provide a way for something called INFTs. And you're very familiar, I'm sure, with what an NFT is if you're involved in the cryptocurrency market. An NFT is a non-fungible token. Well, an INFT is an infinity NFT. And an NFT, you can essentially take your digital asset and you can take that digital IP and you can essentially stake it. So you could make a picture of yourself, and if you think it's valuable, you could put it up for sale. Just like you could if there was art and it was physical art, but this is now digital art, right? So that's essentially what IPs are doing in the digital world when it comes to NFTs. But what we can provide is essentially a physical IP, so a physical intellectual property, to actually be staked through a contract, and whoever decides to essentially stake in that particular intellectual property will be provided with future licensing revenue rewards. That's never been done before, and we have a patent on it. So nobody else can actually duplicate what we are doing at any scale, which is really important to understand. So when you understand that, and we haven't even released it yet. We already have like 6 projects that already want to get involved and release their physical IPs and create a contract and allow people to stake with their INFTs. So the other thing that we did to provide this is we created a transactional coin called NRGY. And NRGY is a 10 billion supply on the Binance Smart Chain. NRGY is on the Ethereum network, but we'll be providing a bridge solution because the Ethereum fees are so high. We'll be moving to another chain which will allow us to scale out bigger, and the fees will be nothing in terms of, staking. So that's going to be great. But what we're able to do with this, with NRGY, is provide a way for people to buy a coin that is very, very low. Very low. Right now, NRGY is around 0.0015. That's less than a half a penny. Beyond less than a half a penny. And that coin will be used for people to actually stake those particular intellectual property products that all these, companies will essentially be coming in to actually stake their revenue. And so that's going to be really awesome, and we're going to provide that solution. And that NRGY was taken already from the supply of 10,000 coins of energy, and that is what created the 10 billion supply of NRGY coins. So what we're doing is we're providing this DeFi ecosystem to the world, and it essentially is something that people have never seen before. And when we release it to its full capacity, it is really going to shock many people as to how valuable this is. And I hope at that point in time that you all have already gotten involved into this project, because at that point in time, when NRGY begins to essentially be well known across institutions, it may be too late.